Mr. Beast, always the inspiration. Starting off as a YouTuber, counting to 100,000, and now he's a multi billionaire, business owner, world renowned, biggest YouTuber in history, will never be touched. And now he's got the second season of his Amazon Prime original competitive reality TV show, Beast Game. And so, what's new in store for this? Well, last time we started off with 1,000 contestants, overwhelming, too much to be honest, and I feel like they took that to heart. And we start off with 200 this time around, which is a much more digestible cast, especially considering we're going to knock it down fast early on. And the premise is strong versus smart, brains versus brawn. Who's going to come out on top? It's a great premise, tale as old as time, and it really provides for some diverse games, diverse gameplay, diverse strategies, and just an overall good time, especially at the beginning. But does it work? Is it carried by the fact that it has the biggest cash prize in television history, second only to itself? Or the fact that it's hosted by the biggest YouTuber on the planet? Or is it good because it's just entertaining and it keeps you hooked episode in and episode out? Or is it a mix of everything? These are important things because you don't want to watch something just because the money is huge. You want to watch it because you want to fucking watch it, obviously. The budget is huge, the stakes are huge, the props are huge, everything feels massive. But does that mean that it's good? Well, we're going to go over what I think works, what I think doesn't work, and just a couple of things that I feel like I need to point out. But yeah, where to begin? Well, I'm feeling kind of optimistic today, so we'll start with the good stuff. What I think this season slash show does well. So to start off, I really liked the 100 versus 100 aspect of it because last season we had 1,000 to start off, technically 2,000 if you include the video he posted as like a precursor to the actual show, but we'll call it 1,000. But narrowing it down to 200 and making it 100 of the smartest people in the world and 100 of the strongest people in the world, which Mr. Beast theatrically has to be like the 100 strongest and the 100 smartest. You know, obviously not really a metric we can actually prove, but you get the point. And I really think that it works for the show's benefit. Without giving too much away, another thing I think really works is the first couple of episodes are so many games, so many eliminations, so much action, so much different stuff going on, which is everything you signed up for. The very first episode cuts in half the two groups doing a strong game and a brain game. And it's like, yes, this is exactly what we want. And then in the very next episode, we get a choice between four games where it seems like, just based off of the names, we don't know what the games are going to be, but we know based off of the names of the games which one's geared more towards the strong people and which one's geared more towards the smart people. And so there's kind of like this obligation that if you're in that group, you should probably pick the one that favors what you're there for.
Balls and balance, so we want to kind of avoid those.
But surprisingly, the only players so far to choose balls were from the smart group.
Let's go with balls. So far, there's 3 smart people that pick balls.
While most...
Oh! No way! Move! Cross the line!
Oh!
He stepped on it! He stepped on the line!
No one's thrown a ball yet, and we already have our first...
Being a self-proclaimed smart on this game and then instantly choosing a game geared for the strongs and then being the first one out.
Guaranteed money!
But there's gotta be a catch. Like, you think there's a catch? I don't think there's gonna be catch. The catch is elimination.
What do you think, Zyla? What's the catch? It depends on the terms, yeah.
What's the catch?
But I have one more thing!
This isn't really a problem with the show, it's more of a problem with the smart team, and there just seems to be this tendency to prove that you are smart, where the strong team doesn't need to prove that they're strong. And so you're seeing these moments with the strong people, with the smart people, excuse me, where they are just trying to be too smart, and it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of too much. Anyway, something else that works in this is bringing back the old contestants. I think this was a great twist. I think it was guaranteed to work, offering up 100K for people to self-eliminate and bring in the old competitors, brought back the runner-ups, brought back some enemies, brought back just big names that people are going to recognize. I think this was a great move. And of course, the cherry on top, brought back the winner. Let's see if he can do it twice, right? I think this added a great new dynamic for this game where it's like, oh shit, this dude literally won. Like, how are we going to handle him? It's awesome. But yeah, I really think the beginning of the show is excellent. I think people are getting chopped left and right, gone, like the way you want it to be. You want it to be high stakes, high action, and constantly people getting out, because that's the point. They're supposed to feel like they're constantly in danger, like there constantly is a threat of, I could be out of this game at any point, any day. There's no like safety net, there's no safety days. And that's kind of the premise of the first 3 episodes. And then we get to the 4th episode, which is like the first step back, and where we kind of were like, all right, this is now our main cast, we're going to treat them a little better. And I don't know, I don't really love that. Moving on is a repeat from last year, the first of many, which we'll get into later, but it is the island. Somebody won an island last year, so somebody's going to an island this year, and the stakes are now lower. Obviously, to win it would be huge, but there is no penalty, there's no losing, nobody's getting out. And so, as the viewer, the stakes are much lessened. However, to give it a pro, I think it's cool that somebody gets to win an island. I think it's a cool little side quest for the show. And the Survivor collab was sick, right? I mean, bringing out Probst and everybody getting pumped and being like, holy shit, this is like insane. What a collab. Like the longest running reality show out there is collabing with this new kid on the block. Like, I thought it was nothing but great. I thought the challenges they did were really fun. I just think it's kind of a step back in terms of the stakes, because yet again, during these challenges, during this episode, nobody actually loses. Another reuse of an old idea from season 1, and a rare example of it working, is this coin, the $5 million coin, where if and only if you get to the top 6, you can flip it for the chance to double the prize pool. And the way that it was utilized as like a device to keep somebody in the game as leverage or in any type of way was really cool, and added this dynamic where it's like, okay, now the odds are more in my favor because people want to keep me around. And I thought this really, really amped up the stakes and made things a lot more interesting, especially once things started getting more down to the wire. And yeah, the final pro, I don't want to show any footage because it's just simply saying that the last episode, I think, is the best episode. I think the stakes are there. We have the last like 10-ish people for several episodes, and it kind of gets stale. But at the very end, you know, somebody's got to win, and we just start knocking people off immediately in the final episode. And I just think it is the most entertaining episode, has the highest stakes, and I think it's important and good for any show to end at its best. And so I think that that is the final good thing about the show. And now I am going to get into what I really do not love about this. The first thing is just cliffhangers in every single important episode. Like, right before something big is about to happen, somebody gets eliminated, somebody makes a big decision, whatever it is, you know the episode's just going to cut to the credits. And, like, I get it. It gets you to watch the next one, but it really feels like it's more of a deficit to the show than it is a benefit to getting you to watch it next week.
Hey, Nick, you good, Nick? You good?
Someone took the bribe!
The person that I'm logging in, the person I'm voting for is...
Won $1 million opportunity. The only question is, are you going to take it?
Yeah.
I had one more clip that I was going to include, but I just didn't want to oversaturate it because you get the point. But that clip also features Nick, so it's just funny that all of the cliffhangers just happen to feature the same guy, obviously showing that he makes it decently far, but like it is crazy that he is always like the main character of these stupid fucking cliffhangers. So the next complaint that I have is a really big one, and I think is the biggest problem the show faces, and it is the reuse of games from the past. And it's not the reuse of them that is the main problem, it's that it is several episodes in a row of basically the exact same games as there were in season 1 in the same order. And so we start off with the box game. Followed by the $1 million split or steal, but they're buried this time, so it's a different game, right? No, it's the exact same.
You all may remember a little game we played in Season 1 called $1 million Split or Steal, where the top 10 had the opportunity to split $1 million evenly.
And finally, the bribe phone booth one, where you use the money that you may have or may have not gotten from the $1 million split or steal to get people's votes to vote you into the final round. I just find this game so fucking boring because, and I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent real quick. Now, going forward in future seasons, they can never do this again, because if they do, if you get to go first, you have one choice in the $1 million split or steal. Take all of it, and then in the next round, then give everybody their share, and they'll vote you in, and you're in automatically, or you keep it all. Because there is no reason to take your fair share, because somebody's going to fuck it up. It's been proven. And so, again, I think this game is really boring, and I now think that it can never happen again because people see what it leads to. Final thing, and then I'm pretty much done, is there's one episode, it's 5 or 6, and it is nothing. It is an episode that you waited a week for that actually contains no stakes, no nothing. What it is, to just explain it to somebody who maybe hasn't seen the show, is it's the feel-good episode, right? Everybody gets to see their families, and, you know, it's nice, and it's sweet, but it's not what we're there for. And even if it was long overdrawn. These are hour-long episodes, and the first 30 minutes is just these people spending time with their family, which, again, I'm glad they got that time, but we don't feel their pain and loneliness without their family because we're watching this week by week. We don't know they've been there for over a month and a half now and that they're missing their loved ones. And then to add insult to injury, if it was just family and then, okay, now we're going to kick one of y'all out, then the next half of the episode is just build up to the next episode's game. Nothing happens. It is a entirely filler episode, and it is a sin that it exists in this. And it is my last complaint, possibly the biggest. I think the biggest really is that they just repeated way too many games in sequence, which was a huge mistake. But yeah, that about does it for my complaints, my praises. Overall, I really do think at its best, it is very, very good, very entertaining, and the players do their best to like have their own personalities and change it up and make you care about different ones in different ways. And some of them are the good guys, some are the bad guys, some of people are kind of just in the background. And overall, it's definitely worth the watch. But man, in those middle couple of episodes, you really might fall off, and it just sucks because I really think getting to the end is awesome. But the fact they have to make it a task to get there is tough. But other than that, maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'm not being harsh enough. Let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, thank you.